We're doing it. Let's go. 4 years driving this thing. Out on the streets by myself. I think that's probably the biggest thing that people don't realize is like the in-between of the rides. I mean, that's kind of the fire thing about Uber is that, one, I get to work on my own time. Two, I get to network. I mean, I've gotten to know Los Angeles really good. I mean, it's all started back in Boston, April of 2015. I was a junior in college at Bentley University. I was just looking for a side part-time gig just to make some money, and really it was just booze money, right? I would make, you know, maybe 80 to 100 bucks for the week, call it a day. I didn't have any monthly payments. I didn't have any college loans. I didn't have any payments that I had to make, so it was just going right to my pocket. And that's where I started my junior year in college, and then you know, I did it for a whole summer going into my senior year, knowing that I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I got to know the streets of Boston. I was working on my own time, and it was amazing. It's crazy because as of today, I think I'm at over 18,500 rides for Uber. It's like been such a beautiful grind because it's allowed me to work on my own time. It's allowed me to drive as much as I want. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is like the people that I'm meeting on a day-to-day basis, and then two, the amount of time I spend on the side of the road waiting for the next Uber rider. There's so much time where I'm just sitting here in my thoughts and I'm thinking about, where does this all look like? What does my future look like? Where do I see myself going? From what I've learned as a creator, what's so interesting is that we spend so much time on the back end creating and developing these ideas and scheduling and shooting and doing all this back-end work to create this masterpiece that takes so much time and energy and effort and people, and then you publish it, and not even by the end of the day you're like, on to the next thing, through the highs, through the lows, through the big podcasts, you know, from the bigger guests to then having to get out there and drive the streets. I've just recognized like this is all just part of my process. That's always been the mindset of keep going, keep moving forward, whether I'm podcasting, whether I'm creating content, whether I'm driving Uber, and I gotta do whatever is necessary to just keep moving forward. But
I was looking at an Instagram post that you told me to look at. I think they first complimented you on being so positive and driven, which you definitely are. And they wanted to know if you have any bad habits still, or were you able to like kick all of them?
yeah, it's like
or are you just perfect?
No, it was like I was saying, I am my biggest critic, and
yeah.
I think that's I think everybody is their biggest critic, but that is my bad habit, and I'm trying to get there's like this inner voice that we all have that's talking in our head. Everybody has it. It's like I call it like the inner devil, like the inner demons, right? And it's like, if you can get the inner demon to shut up. I literally wrote a blog called Operation Inner Demon or something like that. And I was like, I talk about how we all are training Navy SEALs.
Sounds dark, dude.
Yeah, and we need to go out there and kill the inner demon. But
that's that slithery Satan, you know?
Slithery Satan. That is the one
yeah.
weakness, is just being my own biggest critic, which is like a blessing and a curse.
This is gonna sound weird, but I'm almost glad that you're realizing that before you do have the money.
100%.
Because then you would be like, look at me, I'm successful. Because there's a lot of people that make a lot of money that are not successful because they're not doing what they set out to do.
Yeah.
And they're not happy with anything they're making.
Yeah.
Most of year one was just you building your perspective and convincing yourself that you can do something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, you know.
And I might be wrong, because actually the first year of the podcast is probably the least me and you saw each other for a whole year.
Yeah, because I was living in Boston
and I was back home.
Yeah.
Growing up, we were always together, like
Yep.
together every day or every weekend or whatever. And
Drive
now we
around
fucking
slaying
live.
tickets.
Now we live together.
So you're slaying tickets.
So
in
like
the
I
Honda
see
Accord.
the day to day, like every day.
Yeah.
So Bob, before year 1 of the podcast, and Bob at the beginning of year 2, when we came here, is like a different guy. Yeah.
I just got to LA. I'm bringing in Kyle's manager. What is this year going to look like?
Yeah.
And LA.
You thought you were gonna have Oprah by week 10.
Oprah's coming through. But LA, that year, that first year in LA, year 2 of the pod, is when I planted the seed and I grew, because there was no distractions. There was nobody hitting me up. I had a year under my belt of the pod, and I was starting to become confident of just putting myself out there. Because year 1 was just podcasts, and most of it was just audio. There was no visual.
Yeah, I mean, year 2 was probably a nice like stepping stone, and just like strengthening everything.
Yep.
What do you think? Now we're coming up at the end of the 3rd year. What do you think the biggest difference between year 2 and year 3 were, if any? You think it was better, worse?
Year 3 was about pushing outside the comfort zone and still trying to build, stronger relationships with the people that I've already established relationships with. And
I was going to say that at some point. I think that's one thing that you've done a great job at, is like maintaining a relationship without ever
overstepping,
doing too much or doing too little. Like you're not obviously like famous or like some huge like personality, but everyone that knows you and is in your not even like inner circle, but anyone that has worked with you in some capacity or even just met you, like has respect for you and what you do, because they know that you just like understand what the fuck's going on.
As my true happiness is from experiences. Last weekend, the Yes Theory, the Cousin Sis part, I felt great. I didn't make any money, spent money the entire time, but I loved it.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that I figured that out, that it's not things in life, it's the experiences that bring me the most happiness. Everyone's different.
And it's easy to say that when you don't have the money.
Yeah.
Like us, like we're just some fucking broke dudes just making it work.
Yeah.
But I think both you and I actually do like believe that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna like be obvious.
Yeah.
Once we do have the money.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of examples around us, good people that have had financial success and are free to do kind of whatever they want in some degree, but they're still humble, hungry, just down to earth. Like they're not wilding out like they could if they wanted to, like, because they don't. It just comes down to like what you value and what you like to do. Like,
Yeah.
And both of us are real simple, so
I would definitely agree with that.
we're gonna be fine.
We're gonna be just fine.
Just gotta get this money, Bob.
Get that cheddar, Bob.
Where is it at? It's everywhere. That's the problem.
Yeah. We touched on a lot.
I think that's it for here. I don't know. Should we go in another room or
I mean, we touched on a lot.
pause?
Yeah, I mean, we touched on everything here. I don't. If there's any other questions you have, great.
I think that's
Otherwise,
it. Let me look at my phone real quick,
Yeah.
but I kind of freeballed it.
Yeah, we definitely touched on everything.
Pause again.